Mary, he was just 20 years old and a rising hip-hop star, but police said Bobby Shmurda was also the leader of a violent street gang. Now he's a free man, and as many fans are hoping, he'll be releasing new music soon.
Ackquille Jean Pollard, known better to many as Bobby Shmurda, influential artist of the rap scene and something of a bad boy behind the scenes. His record deal with Epic was seen as the perfect opportunity to send this young rapper to heights he could never have imagined. But right at the point his career was about to skyrocket, he was arrested for possession of a firearm in a criminal case that left Shmurda facing hard time in one of the world's most notorious institutions. Let's take a look at how Bobby Shmurda survived 7 years in one of the most violent prisons.
Bobby Shmurda released from prison today after spending almost 7 years behind bars on conspiracy and weapons charges.
February 2023, and Bobby Shmurda steps off the plane and onto the tarmac, a free man after 7 long years behind bars. His friend and fellow rapper Quavo has picked him up in his very own private jet, giving the former inmate the full rock star treatment.
He left Clinton Correctional Facility after serving nearly 7 years behind bars on a guilty plea to conspiracy and weapons charges. A FaceTime with his mother, Leslie Pollard, was posted on TMZ.
Yo, I cannot wait to kiss you off!
He's set to go on a highly successful career after his album was put on hold while he served his time. But it's any wonder he survived his sentence at all. The first half of it was served in the infamous Rikers Island, New York. He would join the ranks of former famous inmates like Lil Wayne, DMX, Foxy Brown, and even Tupac Shakur, who all survived life in this notoriously violent correctional facility. Shmurda would see for himself its already brutal reputation up close and personal.
NBC News recently obtained more than 100 hours of surveillance video from inside Rikers. City officials don't contest the contents of the video. Scenes like this: an attempted knifing averted by an officer, and an inmate organized so-called fight night where some detainees were forced to participate.
So how did Shmurda end up going from signed artist to inmate? As it turns out, his life has been a roller coaster of criminal activity since a very young age.
I was in juvenile. I graduated junior high school in juvenile. I don't know what the fuck a high school is. You know what I'm saying? I've been in and out of jail, juvenile, prison. They've been trying to detain me my whole life.
Wow.
Psych wards, going to psych wards. I was 16, so I had a lot of facilities, a lot of deal, you know, a lot of dealing with with the state. So
with the system.
With the system.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So anytime I do get a chance to get free, they know. Even in there, I was wild. You know what I'm saying? I need to breathe, baby. Yeah.
Born to a half Trinidadian mother and half Jamaican father, he was raised by his mother after his father was sent down for life after being found guilty of murder. Once the family moved to New York, both Bobby and his brother, Javis, became entangled in the criminal world after Javis began selling illegal narcotics. Around this time, they would begin to form the GS9 gang, one that would end up changing Shmurda's life forever. GS9 was made up of kids from Shmurda's childhood, and where they went, trouble would follow. Shmurda had several encounters with the law, including a probation violation that saw him serve 15 months in a juvenile detention center.
Bobby is coming home to a lot of well wishes, open arms, and a lot of opportunities.
But after his release, he would upload a video to YouTube that would make him an overnight sensation. Hot Boy went viral and gained the attention of Epic Records, who signed Shmurda for an incredible $2 million deal. He even started his own online trend with the Shmoney dance, which saw celebrities like Beyonce sharing their version of the dance craze on social media. November 2014 saw the release of his first EP, and he was expected to become a megastar with the albums in the works. Live appearances alongside Meek Mill and Drake, and a remix of Hot Boy featuring artists like Fabulous, Chris Brown, Jadakiss, Rowdy Rebel, Busta Rhymes, and Yo Gotti. All that would change in the early hours of December 17, 2014, when Shmurda was arrested alongside his friend and fellow rapper Rowdy Rebel, as well as 13 GS9 members. This was his second arrest in 6 months. Back in June 2014, Shmurda was charged with criminal possession of a weapon after an incident at his girlfriend's apartment. Police did not accept his claims the weapon was simply a prop for a music video. What Shmurda and the rest of GS9 were not aware of was the police investigation that had been going on behind closed doors for almost a year, and one that intended to bring the gang's criminal activities to light.
In 2014, as Bobby Shmurda's hit song Hot Boy was dominating the charts, police maintained his GS9 music collective was actually a violent set of the G-Stone Crips. He was investigated by the NYPD's gang unit and arrested along with 19 others. 21 guns were seized.
Before Bobby Shmurda became an overnight sensation, police alleged that he and the GS9 gang were guilty of several public shootings, many with rival gangs, as well as the trafficking of illegal narcotics, in particular crack cocaine. Recorded conversations between members members indicated that they were arranging narcotic sales, and investigators even tried to use his own songs against him, claiming they were almost documentations of his crimes. Of course, they couldn't use his lyrics against him in the court of law, but with plenty of evidence to incriminate him and several members of GS9, police were confident they would secure a conviction.
The case was so big, even then Police Commissioner William Bratton spoke out.
Bobby Shmurda has a rap and hip-hop following. Just before we arrested him, he tweeted that he'd be holding a concert at a secret location. I don't think that he was aware that that location is now going to be the New York State Supreme Court.
On December 18, 2014, just one day after their arrest, Shmurda, Rowdy Rebel, and 13 GS9 members would plead not guilty to a staggering 101 criminal charges, including the sale of illegal narcotics, possession of a weapon, and murder. Bail was set at $2 million, and if convicted, Shmurda was looking at a sentence of 25 years hard time.
Several months after his arrest, I had an exclusive sit-down interview with his mother, Leslie Pollard, at her Brooklyn seafood restaurant. She told her son to stay strong.
It's a minor setback for a major comeback. So, like I tell him, it's very hard. I'm not in your place right now, and I don't know exactly how you feel. I'm hurting from the outside.
Over the next year, Shmurda had his bail package denied 6 times after his family failed to raise the $2 million required. And then Martin Shkreli, the CEO of Turing Pharmaceuticals, stepped in as a very unlikely hero, offering to front the bail money. But in a shocking twist of events, Shkreli was arrested the very next day and charged with fraud. It was while he was awaiting trial in the Otis Banham Correctional Center that Shmurda first found trouble when he got involved in a violent confrontation. The 4 Crips and 2 rival blood gang members came to blows, causing chaos in the cells. Only months later was he in trouble again, this time being caught plotting to smuggle a knife into prison with his ex-girlfriend. That prison just so happened to be one of the world's most notorious, most violent, where only the most brutal criminals are housed. A facility that is featured in top 10 worst prisons in America, Rikers Island.
Videos have shown how even non-violent kids had to learn to survive in a violent world.
Around half the population of Rikers are gang affiliated, and the problem became so serious that the New York City Department of Corrections formed the Gang Intelligence Unit in an effort to curb the increasing violence. They were able to identify over 50 security risk groups inhabiting Rikers Island at the time, including heavyweights like the Crips, Bloods, Trinitarios, Latin Kings, and Folk Nation, all coming into conflict on a regular basis. Some argued Rikers Island seemed unnecessary overkill against a man who was about to go to trial on mostly circumstantial evidence. But nonetheless, police were adamant he was the ringleader of a violent organized gang and was exactly where he deserved to be.
Rikers Island, New York's massive jail complex just a few miles from Midtown Manhattan and scene of a humanitarian crisis.
What are some words you'd use to describe Rikers Island?
Hell. Plain and simple. Hell.
In September of 2016, Shmurda accepted a plea deal instead of risking the outcome of a trial. He would plead guilty to weapon possession and third-degree conspiracy, which would see him sentenced to 7 years in prison, with credit for time served bringing it down to 5. He had originally been offered a 5-year plea deal, but later said, "I did it for Rowdy. They offered me 5 and offered Rowdy 12. They said the only way they'll give him 7 is if I took 7 too. So, I had to take one for the dog." His lawyer was confident he would be out in less than 4 years, if he could keep his nose clean. Not surprisingly, he was involved in yet another brawl, just a little over a month into his sentence. The fight was so severe that Shmurda was sent to solitary for a month and had his privileges stripped. Remember when he was caught trying to smuggle a knife into prison? He would eventually face those consequences of those actions when his sentence was extended by 4 years, with no chance of appeal, and he would be forced to put his music career on hold. Shmurda can credit one major factor in surviving his sentence: keeping his mouth shut.
Torre says Bobby Shmurda did not violate the street code of no snitching, and that gives him added respect.
It's just highly respected. It's highly respected, and people that are ethical and come from a certain cloth are always going to salute that.
Keeping to his word, Shmurda kept quiet and protected his friends and associates. This gained him notoriety. He was welcomed back into the music world with open arms and a level of respect many will never achieve.
Get security. Get security. Learn your business like you learned the drug game. Cause other than that, you was a stupid nigga running around. You learn your business like you learned the drug game. Like how y'all take pride in all that other shit and the Marys and all that other shit. Take pride in your business. Don't you?
As expected, his career took epic heights after his release, despite this disagreement that he had with Epic Records that eventually led him to parting ways with the record company. Bobby Shmurda paid for his silence, and he was sent to one of the most dangerous correctional facilities in the world. Now he's on his way to becoming one of the most recognized artists of his his generation, and has so far steered clear of any more brushes with the wrong side of the law. Let me know what you think about this case in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the darker side of the world of rap and R&B.